way it's always been. But very suddenly we've shattered that world for most of the dominant society. We now see the world not as a single entity where everything's connected. We see the world in bits and pieces. Now, I'm not going to go into the reasons why we've shattered the world, but the reality is that we live in a world now where we don't see that we are connected to these other events happening. And if we don't see the connections, we don't feel any responsibility. So we go through lives primarily living in urban settings now, and we think that what we do is we work to make money, and money allows us then to buy whatever we can afford. But in the act of buying something, we make a decision that has repercussions that reverberate throughout the world. I was thinking about this speech last night in the hotel, and I thought, oh, I think rather than go out to eat tonight, I'm going to order a pizza. And then I started thinking about that pizza. When I order that pizza, I pick up the phone and call. That phone was manufactured through a very complicated process. The plastic in it has come from oil somewhere, and somehow that oil had to be extracted, had to be processed to make plastic, and then formed into the telephone. And then the wires through which that message goes, they contain metal, copper, and that copper was ultimately mined out of the earth and processed, and so on. And when the guy picks up the phone on the other end, then he takes my order with a pencil, and that pencil and the lead and the wood had to come from somewhere, the paint on it, then he writes it on a piece of paper, ultimately puts the pizza in an oven where a lot of heat going out. That heat in the process had to generate greenhouse gases. He takes that, puts it in a cardboard box, then someone drives in a car, releasing greenhouse gas into the air, and then comes up the elevator. Then when you take the pizza, you have to say, where did the wood come from that went into making the cardboard? It had to be cut down, processed, shipped, blah, blah, blah. What about the ink on the car? You get the picture now, what's happening, right? You take where did the ink come from, and the metals and the colors and manufacture, and what about the pizza itself, and the flour and pepper and tomatoes? And when you eat that pizza, the reverberations of purchasing it and using and buying it and eating it reverberate around the world.